Hi, my name's Lot, and I used to be really fucking fat, but I'm not really that fat anymore though. I've watched a few content creators and their commentary on the topic of Amberlynn Reid leaving YouTube, quitting YouTube after a demonetization. And in general, they all seem to come up with the same sort of conclusion. Why doesn't she just set up a platform elsewhere? She has the audience, she has the interest, she has the cult-like following, if you want to call it that. If she moved to a different platform, say like TikTok or Twitch, sure, she wouldn't have the same following over there, but a big portion would follow her there. And then in 90 days, she can reapply for monetization on your YouTube channel. Or even, some of them have said, just start a new YouTube channel in the meantime. With her following, she would easily hit the requirements needed to monetize that new channel. Honestly, they're all very valid suggestions, and most other people would take up one or two, or even multiple of these options in the meantime of their channel being demonetized. But Amber hasn't. She's wept her tears, said it's the end of an era, and that's that. She's done with YouTube, tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars made and spent. It actually makes sense to me why she wouldn't pursue another avenue. And actually, I believe that there's a scientific reason why she wouldn't pursue another avenue. I'm just popping in here. I'm about to go to the gym. It is my clean and jerk technique day. And we all know how big of a fan I am of all kinds of jerking. And which is why I'm really excited to announce my first channel sponsor, Bellessa. My friends at Bellessa and I are literally sending out free vibrators or gift cards for vibrators for everyone who signs up for my giveaway. Bellessa is a by women company for all things sexual wellness. And you know, I'm all for all things wellness. Sexual wellness is very important to me as a jerk enjoyer. Bellessa's mission is to empower everyone to embrace, explore and celebrate their sexuality, and they very kindly sent little old me a few of their products to have a go at. Two of my favourites that they have sent me out of the whole load of goodies that they sent me. First of all, we got the Flutter Vibe. Simulates the experience of an actual human tongue, but with added precision, mimicking the sensation of oral pleasure. It's a bit mad, actually. Like, look at that. I've had enough disappointment in my life. I need this, you know what I mean? It comes in this very discreet packaging. It's waterproof, it's rechargeable, and it's powered by discrete series technology. My favourite of the lot, this bad boy here. This is the Thump. It's a toy that does it all, right? So it vibrates, it sucks, and it thumps. So at the back here, we've got the little old sucky boy, and at the front here, we've got the thumpy boy. It's designed to be a de facto replacement for all external clit stimulating devices. It utilises Bellessa's improved pleasure jet technology and fits and charged in a very, very discreet case. Bam, look at that. Waterproof and rechargeable, and it's made from quality silicone. So again, I want to thank Bellessa for being my first ever sponsor on this channel. Head down to the caption below this video to see how you can enter this giveaway. Back to the video. Resilience. It's something I've mentioned on this channel before, but I haven't really defined it. According to Cambridge Dictionary, it is the ability to be happy, successful, etc. again after something difficult or bad has happened. And according to the American Psychological Association, it is the process and outcome of successfully adapting to difficult or challenging life experiences, especially through mental, emotional and behavioural flexibility and adjustment to external and internal demands. A number of factors contribute to how well people adapt to adversities. Predominant among them are A, the ways in which individuals view and engage with the world, B, the availability and quality of social resources, and C, specific coping strategies. In my research, and when I say my research, I mean in my reading, it seems that resilience is scaled via a 25-item resilience scale, or the RSS, and that was developed in 1993, or by a validated 11-item version of this scale known as the RS11. And both scales have shown to have good internal consistency of between 0.76 and 0.19. So I've got a couple of examples of questions that are on these two tests. So for example, I can usually look at a situation in a number of ways. I am determined, my life has meaning. And these questions are scaled on a 7-point scale called the Likert scale. And they tend to go from strongly disagree to strongly agree. These responses are then treated as numerical values for easier comparison analysis. So for example, strongly disagree would be 1, disagree would be 2, neutral would be 3, agree would be 4, and strongly agree would be 5. And then the median of the modes of this value is used to summarise the data collected for the particular demographic surveyed. Across my reading, there seems to be a correlation between a higher BMI a larger waist size, and lower resilience. In the paper, associations between obesity, BMI and waist circumference, socio-demographic factors, physical activity, dietary habits, life events, resilience, mood, perceived stress in healthy Europeans. Representative samples of middle-aged adults 43 years old and over were recruited in Great Britain and in Portugal. I'm just going to focus on the British participants just because the culture in Britain is most like in America. British culture is more alike to American culture than Portuguese culture is. So I'm just going to focus on the British culture here. In the results, it was found that the addition of psychological measures to their regression model indicated that lower scores on resilience predicted a larger waist circumference. In their results for their collected sample, resilience was the only significant factor, psychological predictor variable in the final model, which explained a 20% of the variance in waist circumference. It's also interesting to add that in this particular paper, that sex had no influence on the psychological variables in determining waist circumference. So between men and women, there was no difference. However, I would like to add a note here that I did find contradicting papers in my reading. However, where these papers found little to no correlation between obesity and resilience, they did find that obese participants were more likely to have poor mental health or diagnosed mental health conditions. So it's in my opinion, from my reading and my understanding, that there is a correlation between resilience and obesity. And I could go in a little bit more depth about how resilience and mental health overlap, but that's for another video that if you are interested I will make. But for now, let's steer back onto ALR and how all of this of what I've just said is relevant to ALR. ALR has spoken about her adverse childhood experiences at length during her YouTube time. I'm a bit of an ALR historian. I've been in the Amberverse since she was living with Eric and Ricky, right? So we're talking, when 2018, I think I discovered Amber. I feel like I've got a good grasp, and I keep up with reaction channels for the most part. So I feel like I know quite a lot about her through her own words. And she's talked about her experience with addict and alcoholic parents, being in the foster system, and other experiences that have negatively impacted her.
It was when I did Girl Scouts and I ate a whole box of cookies in my closet. I was in an all-girls group home at the time, and I was supposed to give the Girl Scout cookies over to the person who bought them, but I was 10 years old, crying in my closet, eating all of them. And I remember the way I felt eating those cookies. I remember why I was doing it. I missed my parents a lot. I remember I hadn't seen them in a while. I didn't know where my brother was. And because we were separated at that point, because I went to the group home, and I felt scared. I was terrified. And I felt like no one understood. I was lonely. And that's the only thing I knew to do to like numb that feeling, those feelings and those thoughts, was to eat. So teaching myself to do that at such a young age, no matter what I did, I couldn't unlearn it.
For the sake of this video, we will take everything that she said with a pinch of salt. I know she is a known liar.
So I'm currently going to be eating Wendy's. Okay, those do not taste that good. I don't eat the ends of bananas. I don't even like bananas. I forced myself to eat it, so I need to eat this. Personally, I don't really like oatmeal at all. I have a little bit of oatmeal here.
But we can't deny the fact that she was in foster care and had a difficult upbringing with neglectful parents. Everything else around her childhood that she's told us, pinch of salt, okay? It's also known that she has been obese forever, literally her whole life. She's spoken about being in the late 200s, early 300 pounds as a teenager, which is hefty. Amber has always walked the path of least resistance, refusing to take responsibility for her own life. Even still, in her mid-30s, she consistently blames whatever is presently wrong in her life on her adverse childhood. While I do have sympathy for her, which I know some people are going to go, you can't have sympathy for Amber, I, to an extent, have sympathy for what she went through in her childhood. No child deserves the adverse experiences that she experienced, right? But at some point, we have to be big boys and girls and take ownership of our healing. We have to understand that while, yes, we didn't deserve what we went through, it still is our responsibility now to overcome the consequences of those events. Trauma is a word that has become mainstream therapy talk. It has been dampened down by pop culture, and it seems from my own personal experience that some are very willing to throw the word about but not take accountability for their own healing from said trauma. And I do think this is the case with ALR. It obviously is. Some may think that surviving trauma builds resilience. In my opinion, it isn't. It is simply surviving. You've survived now. It's time to heal and build that resilience. Like I said at the start of the video, because I know some people are going to pitchforks, what do you mean trauma doesn't build resilience? The definition of the word resilience is the ability to be happy, successful, etc. again after something bad or difficult has happened. From my perspective, from my understanding, from my opinion, ALR has not built resilience. She survived. And I don't mean it in a way that's, woo, hippie, you're a survivor talk, right? I mean, I speak simply. In life, she has gone year by year and has survived. She's just lived. She's just existed. She has made no active effort to build or improve her life. She has actively made the decision to stay, to remain super morbidly obese, and some. Despite having all the resources in the world, all the time, all the money, all the support, she has remained superly morbidly obese because it was the easiest thing to do. She did not learn any life skills or go back into education or even finish the education she started way back when, because that was the easiest thing to do. She did not start any side hustles or any businesses alongside YouTube. She simply collected a check off her low effort content every month because it was the easiest thing to do. Now, she is not moving platforms to continue to profit off the platform that has built itself around her, because that isn't easy. That requires effort. ALR would rather lie down and accept what is happening to her, because that's what she's always done. It's the easiest thing to do. It is the path of least resistance. She has quit every single thing she has ever started. Vlogging streaks, fad diets, hobbies, an Etsy earring business. And this comes back to my point about there being a correlation between lack of resilience and obesity. I think Amberlynn is patient zero of that example. Patient zero of accepting an adverse childhood, of accepting trauma and blaming everything negative on those things. Even things that happen presently, she still cries about, but I was this as a child, I was that as a child. It doesn't matter. You're a grown up now. I'm a big advocate for looking after your inner child, but to do that, you have to look after you first. You have to be in a position to be able to provide what that inner child needs. And as a super morbidly obese woman with no life skills, no education, no job history, how are you going to do that? You can't. And that's why I think it scientifically makes sense why Amberlynn is just simply quitting. It makes sense. And to those content creators that say, why don't you just do that? Why does she? Because that's not who she is as a person. You're probably sat here thinking now, like, well, how would she even build resilience? How do I build resilience? This goes for anyone, not just someone like Amberlynn. The American Psychological Association basically have a step-by-step guide on how to do it. So I'm just going to walk you through it, if you don't mind. So, number 1, build your connections. Prioritizing relationships. Connecting with empathetic and understanding people can remind you you're not alone. Join a group, something hobby-based, faith-based, or other local organisation. People who are stuck in survival mode tend to isolate. They tend to be avoidant. By making relationships a priority, we can break this down. 2, foster wellness. This is the thing that myself and my friends in this corner of the internet, being Honey Bison, Angelica Unfiltered, Shakara Transformations, and all of my other wonderful content creators in this corner of the internet, constantly scream about in our own ways. Foster wellness. Take care of your body. Eat well, sleep well, hydrate, and regularly exercise. Practice mindfulness through journaling or yoga or meditation. These practices can help work through the negative aspects of your life, which allows us to process it and release it. But these practices can also help us ruminate on the positive aspects of our life, which helps build not just resilience, but also gratitude, which they kind of go hand in hand. To have gratitude, you also have resilience, and the vice versa. Number 3 is find purpose. Help others, volunteer, help a friend, help others, be part of a community, or be proactive. Acknowledge and accept your emotions during hard times, but also use this acknowledgement to foster self-discovery. Ask yourself, there's a problem here, but what can I do about this problem? So, for example, I had this issue happen to me as a child and it makes me feel like this as an adult. Okay, but what can I do to work through how I feel about this so I'm able to move on and have a happy life through building resilience through these practices? Also, move towards your goals. Stop just manifesting. I always see this shit on TikTok. Manifest. Oh, build a fucking vision board. That shit is great and it works and helps you keep on track. But if you're just sat there going, I'm going to be super rich, or I'm going to be so healthy and fit and like an athletic goddess, but you're not doing any actions towards those goals, then it's not going to happen, is it? You need to develop some realistic and manageable goals and do something regularly to move towards them. So, for example, if you're learning a new skill, think, what can I do today to help me move towards learning that skill? So you told yourself at the beginning of the year, I'm going to learn to cook. And there you are again on a Wednesday ordering your second takeaway of the week, thinking, I wish I could just cook. TikTok, 30-minute simple recipes for beginners. Do it. That's one step closer. Or I'm going to start going to the gym. Just get to the gym and walk on a treadmill. Not everything has to be fucking straight away. No one, and this probably relates more to glitter and lasers, no one's expecting you to be an expert or elite at anything that you're just starting. Journey's the thing you're supposed to enjoy. The climax, the graduation, the performance, the competition is the climax, is the reward for the hard work, but it's the journey that's the fulfilling part. That brings you purpose in your life. 4, embrace healthy thoughts. I spoke about this in my other video called How I Talk Myself Out of Obesity. I really recommend that you go and watch that if you like this kind of video, because I like that video a lot. But essentially, when you keep things in perspective, accept change, and maintain a hopeful outlook, go watch that other video that explains in detail what positive thoughts do to us. Number 5, seek help. Find a professional. Talk to them and do the work. Working through trauma, processing it and releasing it is one of the best ways to develop resilience. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Some may have clicked on hoping for a recap of a breakdown of the recent content from Amber, but I'm going to be honest, I'm not interested in actually making reactionary content to Gore World unless it's wellness and fitness and nutrition based, or if it's psychology relating to wellness. So I won't be breaking down the drama of all that shit, because I would rather watch that than talk about it, and then do my own little spins, short videos like these to, this is my little niche take on it. So yeah, that's that. In my How I Taught Myself Out of Obesity video, I asked everyone to put a little comment below, so I'm going to ask you to do that again today. If you watched to the end of the video, I would like you to leave a comment about something that you've done to build your resilience. Have a wonderful week, everyone. I'll see you on the flip side for another funky, funny video.